Welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Brandon, and today we're looking at Sword Art Online Alicization Volume 2. This being the 11th product for Weiss Schwarz of SAO, this being one of the big franchises in the game, there are a lot of cards involved in this set. Starting with Alicization, it's really become more trait-locked, so you have a very different set of decks for the Fluctlight trait, and you do the Avatar Net traits. This video is going to look at the Fluctlight traits, looking at what does the new deck with the Fluctlights look like, what does realistically a Fluctlight build look like. That's kind of the biggest support that you got in the new Alicization Volume 2 set. However, there is support for an Avatar Net deck as well. This video is going to be looking at the new stuff, looking at what is coming out, what is new, what's going to be the big thing that everybody is going to want to play. And then I'm actually going to put out a second video this week on Thursday, instead of gameplay, looking at what does Alicization Volume 2 look at support-wise for the old stuff. So we can see two different things coming out of this specific release as well. So starting off, looking at Alicization, we want to look at the top end so we can have this kind of discussion really fast about, hey, what does this look like as a top end before kind of diving in. So here are kind of the four main top ends that Alicization has to offer. You'll notice the Kirito here is actually from set 1. The other three here are from this release. That Alicization actually has three different top ends that are actually quite usable as a top end. Looking at the choice, the climax combo being a pay 2, ditch 2 to mill yourself 11, and then burn in instances of 1 the number of climaxes revealed from it. So pretty powerful top end to be able to deal small instances of damage, as well as trying to close out your game. The more compressed you are, the more damage you could potentially deal. Looking at the Sinon is a 7-card Icy Tail, and you only need to discard a specific character from hand in order to make this Icy Tail go off on attack. Pretty strong top end as well. And looking at the Alice on a Wind, it's a Musashi, but at the same time, the combo gives an additional burn 1, so you have 2 instances of damage on a single card, and if either of those cancel, you have a Musashi effect. So a very powerful effect to be able to try to stick damage in and close out a game. The Kirito, of course, being an on-reverse combo. On-reverse, burn 1. If you have the marker in place, you can pay the cost and then burn 3. So potential another 2 instances of damage on this one card, however, it does require a reverse. Valid top ends and ones that can be definitely run with this set. Looking at the level 1 game, for set 1 we had the trial deck combo on Book. We also had the combo on Wind, your Oboro combo, but that's really about it. Fine again. Coming into the new set in set 2, we have two pretty solid options here. We have the Pants combo, on attack salvage as long as you meet the experience. We also have on reverse salvage. Notably about this on reverse, you can pass it on to another character, so you can stack all of your on reverse salvages onto one character. So when you get that one reverse, you can then salvage. And that being on a bar climax, so both of these climaxes are climaxes that try to get back into hand at some point, trying to be able to loop that combo as much as possible. Both very strong options going into this. There are two main builds, and we're going to kind of look at both of those. We have the Pants Choice build, as well as the 6 Pants, 2 Stock Soul. Looking first at Pants Choice. We have a relatively small level 0 lineup. We have 18 level 0s, but at the same time, there's not a lot of power at 0. You have a lot more tech choices here, partly because a lot of your characters either want reverse or not to be on field. So, starting off, we have this on-reverse Salvage Ricky. It can power pump something else on your turn, so it can increase power by 1,000 times the amount of soul on your character. So either 1,000 or 2,000. On reverse, top card of stock into clock, and then you send it to memory. You need this card in memory for your level 3 combo. When you do, you can then choose a character with Fluctlight trait in waiting room and add it to hand. You need waiting room for this effect, you need to be reversed for this effect, and you really need this in memory for your level 3 combos condition. So, kind of a necessary evil for this card, but you need this for this deck to work. You only need one of them in memory, so only needing to be able to do this once, but run 4 of just so that way we make sure we get this out of the way early. When you kind of want to take a little bit more damage so you can get to level 1, this is here, this is available. It does need reversed. Also from the new stuff, we have this Asuna. This pairs with the level 1 combo. It's a pay 1 bond. You can pay 1 to salvage the level 1 climax combo character from waiting room and return it to hand. Grants that character on attack Surveil. If you have multiples of this character, you can do this multiple times. It also then grants that character 1000 power. So you can boost up the power of your level 1 combo with this card on field. Also from Volume 2, we have this Kirito. Gains a level and 500 power, so it's a level 1/2/5 cross turn. When it becomes reversed, you can reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and hand fix with it, add it to hand, and then discard a card from hand to waiting room. So a little bit of hand filter with this card, as well as kind of building up that waiting room. You play this out at 0, help build up that waiting room, so that way at level 1 you can salvage a character you need from waiting room. From the old set, we have 2 pieces here at level 0. We have this Alice, which allows you to, on play, top check, if it's a character, add, and then discard a card. And then when damage dealt by this card is canceled, you can send it to stock. So it's a potential way to get extra stock in early. It's also a way to be able to hand fix, add stuff to waiting room, so that way you have stuff to salvage later. This Kirito also has an experience condition of 5 that allows then assist all frontal characters by 500 power. For the level 1 combo, you're already kind of trying to clock some experience anyway, so this can help later in the game to get additional power. It's also a search brainstormer. Since you have a lot of salvaged targets already, whether through the Ricky or through the combo, this allows you access into your deck, so that we kind of have access to both here right at level 0. Jumping into level 1, we have the level 1 combo itself. Experience condition of 2. As long as you have the experience condition in place, you can salvage a character from waiting room. Combined with the level 0, it gains additional power on your turn. When it's not on your turn, it's not very big. So it will get reversed, it will get sent to waiting room. But you also have that bond to be able to get it back. You can cycle this combo pretty effectively. We also then run the Climax Swapper. Pay 1, dish Climax, salvage Climax from waiting room. It also gains power on your turn equal to your number of characters. Notably, it's when placed, so you kind of want to place this towards the end of that, so that way you can get more power that way. We also then run this Alice. This Alice is a discard 2 cards refresh. So you're able to refresh your deck by discarding 2 cards from hand. And when you do that, your opponent's front row gets minus power equal to the number of climaxes in your waiting room at that time of refresh. So not only do you get the benefit of refreshing your deck on your turn, on your decision, you also can minus power to your opponent. That's kind of like an additional reward for refreshing your deck. So you save yourself the refresh point, and you subtract power from your opponent's front row. Especially when you're coming up against a lot of standby, subtracting power can be pretty effective. Especially if all 8 climaxes are out, you're dropping your opponent's front row by 4,000 power. Pretty effective, pretty strong, pretty good opportunity. Notably, this card doesn't have power along with it. Even if you subtract 4,000 power from your opponent, it's still only 500 power. So this card isn't going to step over things, but your other cards could. This deck focuses a lot on early plays, so level 2 looks pretty small. We only run the 2/1 backup that allows us to get 3/5 power on one of our characters, so help keep characters alive. That's really what this is in here for. Keep your characters alive, keep them on field, save the stock for the end game. That's really what this is here for. Looking at level 3, look at the early plays first. We have both Yu-Gi-Oh! Early plays we have in place, ready to go. So when we get to level 2, we're starting to throw down these early plays. From the old set, we have Kirito's partner Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 or less early play, gains power on your turn, and it heals. It has effects that don't matter for this deck as an act ability. Realistically, this is coming in for an early play heal. We then also have the early play heal from the new set, which is a 4 or more character early play. So having characters on field allows you to play this early. Also heals, also gains power on your turn. As some of the tech pieces going into this, we have the 3/2 assist in the back row. When you play the assist, your opponent can't play event cards from hand, and so you can't get money countered. When this is played from stage, you can also salvage a character. So it's a really good opportunity if you need the power to step over things, as well as be able to deny events like the money counter. We also then run the stock swap, pay 1 stock swap at level 3. Just another way to be able to help try to stick damage in the end game. And then the combo itself, on play heal. It's a pay 2, discard 2. On attack, as long as you have the choice climax, Mother's Rosario, which notably, you could technically run the bar instead of choice here, but you already need yellow for the character, so, and choice is also a pretty strong trigger, so choice. You have the Asuna Yuki in memory, level 0 that we talked about earlier. You can then at that point pay 2, ditch 2 to mill yourself 11, and then burn based off the climaxes revealed in instances of 1. which is a pretty strong closing engine. Notably, it's 2 cards and not 2 characters, so you can use climaxes. Both choice and pants can help to alleviate some of this cost. Looking at this deck as a cohesive whole, level 0, a little bit on the smaller side, but at the same time has all the setup pieces trying to get going, trying to get moving forward. Hitting into level 1, you're basically trying to spam this combo, trying to get this combo going through, get the resources you need for the end game. Hitting level 2, kind of doing the same thing except with bigger bodies. You have bigger bodies spamming the level 1 combo, healing when you need to, getting you ready for that end game. End game comes around, getting that Asana out, getting that combo going, closing out the game. Looking at the 6 Pants 2 Soxful deck, we're still running that same level 1 base engine, but focusing more on the blue aspect than we are looking at yellow. Similar cards to the deck before, we still have the level 0 Asana that bonds with the level 1 combo. We still have the Kirito that on reverse, look at 3, choose 1, add it to hand, discard the card from hand as a level 1, 2/5. Notably, this card is actually more important in this deck than it is in the other one. This is your discard target for your Icy Tail. So you need to have this card in hand in order to be able to use the Icy Tail at the top end. At level 0, we have a couple other important cards as well that are very useful from going forward with this deck. We run the Yu-Gi-Oh! Level 0 on reverse Ricky, because this deck needs this Ricky for the Stocksfield combo to go off. So having Yu-Gi-Oh! In memory, again, we only need one of these in memory, so we run 4 of to try to get it out early, so we can use it and be gone. We run the Salvage Brainstormer. This Leaf allows the center slot of front row, so that middle slot, to be able to get an additional 500 power. Again, more salvage, more opportunities there. I run 2 of the Leafa that allows us you to pay 1, discard it to be able to look at the top 4, choose 1. Just another way to help mill through the deck, searching for cards that you need. It also can minus 500 power from all of your opponent's characters in the front row. There's been a lot more characters with 500 power in the front row, like the new Shizu just came out with Slime. Ways to help be able to counter some of those cards with this card here and keep moving forward. Also run this Xenon that allows you to, as long as you have 2 or more other characters, draw a card and ditch one, so another way of hand fix. This is also going to let you draw into climaxes. It's another way just to be able to help move additional card through your deck. Or get rid of additional climaxes you have too many of. Being 6 Pants, you have a lot of opportunities to get climaxes to hand. When the card becomes reversed, you reveal the top card of the deck, and if it's level 2 or higher, add it to hand. So it's another way to be able to get additional cards, even when it becomes reversed. So in many ways, it's attempting to pay for itself when it becomes reversed. I actually really like this profile with Xenon, especially with the number of higher level cards you run with this deck. And then lastly, for level 0, we also run the Pants Assist. When you trigger Pants, you can discard a card from hand, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to hand, put the other in the waiting room. So again, kind of the way to just keep moving through the deck. You can discard the Pants you just pick up in order to be able to look at the next 2 cards and get another card to hand. And then again, the act ability, pay 2, discard a card, rest this card to be able to salvage 2 characters with the same name from waiting room back into hand. It's again trying to be able to loop that level 1 combo, or other combos, or whatever you need. This also lets you be able to get the Kirito that you need for the Icy Tail, or get the Icy Tail itself. A lot of opportunities with this card. Going into level 1, looks very similar to the Pants choice list. We run the Pants combo. We also run the Climax swap, so we have those 2 characters ready to go. Going into level 2, we have the Stocksfield combo. As long as Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in memory, it gains 9,000 power. So then it sits at 11,000 power, which is important because it's an on-reverse combo. When your opponent becomes reversed, as long as you have the Stocksfield in your Climax zone and the Yu-Gi-Oh! In your memory, you can stock charge 2 characters from waiting room, and then look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and then choose a Fluctlight character from among them and add it to hand. So a stock charging combo is actually really important with this deck, because you have a potential for a lot of stock in the end game. Pants Assist can use quite a bit of stock that way, so being able to stock charge definitely helps you in this instance. Going into level 3, run 4 of the new early play, the 4 more characters on field, heal, gains power during your turn, so we're able to step over things as well. And then the Xenon Icy Tail. Again, heal, discard the Kirito from hand on attack, Icy Tail 7, deal damage based off the number of climaxes revealed. And then we also run this event. This event is a really interesting event. You might remember this from the atrocity from Beaufrey. It forces you to discard 5 of your characters from field. But if you do, you can burn 1, then burn 2, then burn 3. And then you place this card at the bottom of the deck, especially from going into your final turn. The play that I really see with this, and I think is actually a really interesting play, on that turn prior to Xenon going off, essentially clearing your board to deal 1, deal 2, then deal 3, and then put Xenon on the field, because Xenon only needs the front row. If you're closing that turn, power doesn't matter anyway. You don't need a back row at that point. So you play the event and then go into the Icy Tail, 3 instances of damage off of the event, and then 3 instances of damage from the Icy Tails from a triple Xenon, and then Xenon's attacks, looking at 9 instances of damage. Probably 10 with a refresh point, assuming they have more than, especially since you're milling through 21 cards with the Icy Tail. Potential 10 instances of damage is going to be enough to close a game. So I think that this event is really interesting in this deck. It is worth noting that this is a 4-cost event, so stock might be a problem here on top of trying to triple Icy Tail with it. It's very difficult to pull off consistently. The 2-1 Stocksville combo helps with that a little bit, adding additional stock in as well as additional cards in hand to try to mitigate some of that cost, mitigate some of that opportunity so you can pull it off. A lot of things need to go right in order to make that happen. You also need to keep your board alive in order to make that happen. So maybe more of a double Icy Tail with the event or triple Icy Tail without the event might be a little more realistic as expectations going forward, but still has the damage potential to close out games regardless. I would have loved to see this kind of profile on a counter. I mean, the cost would be ridiculous. It would be crazy costed. You wouldn't have the stock to be able to pay for it. But having this on a counter following the Icy Tail turn would also be really interesting too. But that's neither here nor there. That doesn't do that. It is on play. Best case scenario, clear the board, play the Icy Tail, and go for the win. On Thursday, we're going to look at Alicization, but we're going to look at it through the Avatar Net deck format and seeing what does that look like now. But until then, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.